Hi everyone, this is Dimitri Pragmatic with MarketChameleon.com. I wanted to follow up a session we did on earnings and talk about earnings trade opportunities. And these are option trade opportunities that are popping up today. So I'm just going to go to this tab here, today's option trade opportunities. And what we have here is a list of stocks and option strategies that are popping up as potential opportunities, and they're divided into a couple different sections. The first section is we look at historical backtests and what type of strategy tended to work historically with a high win rate, a high average return, and then we compare it to a sharp ratio. And what this is doing is looking on a daily basis. We do around 3 million different backtests on stocks, on their historical earnings, and we backtest different option strategies. Buying a call, selling a call, buying a put, selling a put, straddles, strangles, butterflies, spreads. We test all those strategies during different time periods around earnings, opening the strategy before earnings, closing it day of earnings, closing it after earnings, before earnings, to see what strategies tended to perform the best. So that is the first filter. And then the next filter, we look at today's options, to today's option prices, and then we run an analysis to see, are today's option prices lining up with positive edge. So we, for example, look at the short 25 delta put and see how it did historically. Look at today's 25 delta put and run it against the historical analysis to see, is it still look like it's overpriced, underpriced, and these are going to return the ones with the positive theoretical edge. Now, coming over here, you also have the table divided. These are all the current opportunities. You could also just filter by defined risk, and what I mean by that is when you're buying an option or a spread, or you're buying a straddle, you know what your max risk is ahead of time. But if you're selling an option or selling a straddle on defined risk, you really don't know your max risk ahead of time. It could be anything. So we have ways of estimating those risks based on max moves historically, but you do have that. You could either look at all, or you could just jump to defined or undefined risk, depending on your risk appetite. If you want to take a look at this first historical, how the data behind the historical backtest strategy, these are the number of observations. It goes up to the last 12 quarters. So for example, here there's 11 different observations we looked at. So you could look at what happened before, what happened after, and the returns for each one. And then you could also take a look at, so this is the underlying, this is what the option did for each one. And if you wanted to pop open the option change snapshots that we used in the backtest, you could go over here and it shows you the prices before and after what occurred. So I'm just going to hide that here. Let's go back to the opportunity table, and let's just say you're looking through it. Maybe you found a few that you recognize and you're willing to to take a look deeper into that. If you go over here, and this tells you to replicate the same date range around earnings, this tells you when to the open and close dates for the strategy. And for example, let's say in Microsoft, it's shown an opportunity over here. If you click right here on this option expiration that I'm hovering over here, July 26th, what it will do is it'll take you to the options chain like this and auto-populate the suggested strikes. So now we're right on the July 26th options chain. It's auto-populated, selling the July 140 call, July 26th, buying the July 141 call, and then you could just run that graph to see how the payoff diagram looks at expiration. You could also go further into it and look at the theoretical values using the price return distributions. And let's say in the last 10 years, if I did this strategy and during only earnings periods, what would look like. So this this $1 call spread over a long period of time. If you did it over and over and over, given the same scenario around earnings, it was worth 4 cents. Right now it's 13 cents, 17 cents. So it has like a 9-cent edge. The historical win rate was 95%. And then if you open up, you could see all the data points down here that that we use for the backtest and to get the summary results up here. So thanks everyone for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye.